What is going on, YouTube? Appreciate you guys very much for tuning in and hanging out with me today. If you guys are new to the channel, the name is dball1. I stream full-time on Twitch, and if you guys want to catch that live, I have the link in the description below for that. But today we're going to dive right into a little product review. We're going to do something a little different. It's not going to be gameplay. I'm just going to give you guys a honest review of what I've got going on with SCUF as far as what they've been doing lately and what's going on with their controllers and all that stuff. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Corsair actually bought them out. So now they're under new management, and I feel like that probably has had a huge effect in the last couple months as far as product quality control goes, because yeah, basically, exactly. We're just gonna stop right there. But I'm gonna start off at the beginning. Okay, basically, when I bought this controller, it was mainly because it just got too crazy playing Warzone, not being able to have any sort of, basically having to leave your fingers off of these right here at any given moment in Warzone is a huge disadvantage. You want to make sure that you keep your ADS in and you keeping your movement going and all that stuff. So it was pretty apparent after playing Warzone and getting back into the Call of Duty grind that you need to have an elite controller, which is any sort of modified controller, whether it be Battle Beaver, SCUF, Evil controllers, Nancon, all those other controllers. You're going to need to have some. It was very apparent really quickly that this controller, a DS4 controller, wasn't going to hold up and make it. So so I decided, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna finally do it. I've never had a modified controller in my life. Figured this is the first time. Why not give it a whirl? So I jumped right into it. I went online to SCUF's website. I did search Battle Beaver. Their wait time at the moment at that moment was like 3 months, and I'm pretty impatient. So I figured, hey, let's check out what we got going with this SCUF stuff, and let's go build a controller. So we built the controller. This controller right here has got all the digital bumpers. We got the R2s, we got all the triggers, everything. I just went full force. I really did. I said, hey, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, let's do it the right way. Let's do it once, and let's just go all out. So basically, we got the military grip back there, really good. I have really sweaty hands, so it helps out a lot. Also, we've got the we ended up getting the contoured paddles in the back. I did see the other ones, and I didn't really like those paddles that they had. They're more of a straight line deal. I kind of like this contoured deal, so I ended up upgrading to those as well. But yeah, basically I also had the rumbles removed. I don't know if you guys are into it or not, but I did notice a huge difference for me personally. I don't know if it could be for everybody, but taking the rumbles out actually helped my shot. It helped clean my shot up a little bit. It made it a little bit more stable. I mean, that could be totally placebo effect. I have no idea. But before I actually did decide to get this controller without the rumbles, I did turn rumble off on my settings, for my controller settings in Warzone. But nonetheless, I was really excited about this controller, super excited. Never had a modified controller. I was really excited to see what this thing was going to be about. Really happy about it. Then it got, it took about, I want to say I did the speedy delivery. I think it was like $30 extra for speedy delivery. I want to say I got in about a week or less, and this was before COVID got really crazy. So I got about a week early. About a week it took to get. Came here pretty early. The second I put it in my hands, I could just tell it just the grit. It just felt well made. All the triggers, everything just feels really good. The sticks are a little bit higher than a DS4 stick. Even the low ones are a little bit higher. But it was something that I had to get used to, and once your fingers kind of get used to it, it's not a problem. But yeah, super excited. I was ranting and raving about how amazing this controller was for about the first 3 weeks. I told everybody, oh my god, this controller's the best, because everybody's drop shotting you, you can't do anything about it. So it was just, this finally was my chance to be like, hey, you guys are gonna do it. All right, well, if you can't beat them, join them, because it's really hard to compete with the regular DS4, with everybody that's running SCUFs and everybody on PC. PC freaking drop shotters are terrible. They're so hard to catch up. Even with the SCUF controller, I've done comparisons with people who have PC. Even on PC with the controllers, they're so much faster than we can be on console. I play on PS4, so it's just, you're at a huge disadvantage with the DS4, and even with the SCUF against the computer, it's just, this was my way to at least get a little bit of a head on them. So basically, like I said, first 3 weeks, super excited about this controller, super hyped on it, nothing but greatness, loved it. After 3 weeks, the L1 button stopped working. It started being inconsistent, it got stuck, and then after a while, it legitimately just stopped working. There was no button there. I started like kind of pounding on it to try to get it to work, and then it would work some days. It would really work. So it was just, it was unbelievable. I kind of was upset because it just didn't make sense. I'd had this thing for 3 weeks. I figured this has just got to be a fluke. Something's wrong. So I tried to reset the controller. Nothing happened. started same deal inconsistently. I started just getting used to not having my L1, which was my tactical. I told everybody, hey, don't give me loadout drops because I can't drop them because I can't press my L1 R1 anymore. And so that was basically it. So what I ended up doing is I ended up snapping off this here and looking inside there to see what was going on. The wire that was connected to the L1, and keep in mind, you guys, I've taken nothing but care for this controller. If you check this thing out, it still looks as good as it did the day that it came out. It's a perfectly great controller. I've never dropped it, literally never dropped it. It's a nothing. I've never abused it. I've never done anything to it. I've just used it normal day to day, right? So I pulled this off. There's a hair line wire. It's literally the thickness of a piece of hair that is attached to the L1 solenoid that's soldered in there that connects it. It could have taken a blow of air to knock that solder off. So I go in there and I look and I see that the solder's disconnected, and I'm just like, fuck. So what I end up doing is I end up pulling this off. I go to Home Depot and I buy a special soldering gun that's super long, extended with a really tiny tip, and I decided to solder it myself. SCUF, if you're watching, I don't give a shit, okay? I was upset and there was no other way. I wasn't going to wait. They were going to say that it was going to be like 3 months until if I were to send this in, I wouldn't get my controller back in 3 months. So I wasn't having that. There was no way I was going for that. That was not going to happen. So I ended up fixing it myself. I started it back. Lo and behold, it worked. It was nuts. I don't know how I did it. It worked. I was really scared. I going into it, I was pretty sure I was going to fuck something up, but I ended up getting to work, and still to this day, it does work. So that worked out. But like I said, that was after 3 weeks. The L1 button stopped working completely. It started bugging out. It felt like it just started bugging out. Then all of a sudden, it just completely shut off on me. Okay, so that's cool. That was fine, right? Moving forward. About a week later, I got the gnarliest stick drift out of nowhere. All of a sudden, my controller was just drifting like crazy, doing all sorts of nonsense. I couldn't believe. I don't know what was going on. So I end up taking out the controller. You know, I twisted off the lock and I took out the actual analog stick and I vacuumed out like I did a bunch of the reviews. I got an alcohol wipe and I alcohol wiped around the solenoids that are around the actual the analog stick. And I was able to get it to kind of work. So I had to turn I was literally turning my dead zone sensitivity all the way up to 25 dead zone. Usually I had it at 5 standard for my any other controllers at 5. I had to turn it up to 25 to get this shit to not drift. It was unbearable. Okay, so anyway, so the stick drift starts to happen. So I'm at 25, not having a great time with it. It's terrible. And I'm just kind of dealing with it. So that's just kind of the life I had to live with that. I had to get used to it. It sucked having that little bit of delay, but unfortunately there was nothing I could do. I could not get this, and I kept cleaning it. I tried to vacuum. I did everything I could to try to get the stick drift eliminated, and it didn't fix it. So that was another problem. That was, like I said, that had to be about a week later the drift started coming in. Then I want to say about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, this thumbstick right here, this rear paddle stopped working. Just does not work anymore. It feels like, okay, so I don't know if it's going to be hard to hear, but you can kind of hear that. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the tapping. This one doesn't have anything. There's nothing. Somehow or another, it must have gotten the actual solenoid under here. It must have, or the actual button must have gotten stuck or pushed down or something, but now it doesn't work. So my left button, what basically was my slide button, does not work anymore. So that stopped working. I tried to do some YouTube videos on how cleaning that. I tried to clean it. I cleaned around the air with the alcohol wipe. I hit it with I did the vacuum on the other side again. I did a bunch of repair work to try to get this thing to work. Nothing worked. It ended up just shutting off all the way, and I stopped using it, and I just said, fuck it, I guess I don't need to use that back paddle anymore. And this is all, so basically, the reason I dealt with a lot of this stuff and I didn't actually want to give it to SCUF was because the problem was SCUF was so far out of repairs, I was willing to just deal with this controller because all of the other upgrades and stuff were great to have, like these triggers, these hair triggers right here. I mean, the digital triggers, that right there alone sold me on just having this controller, even if a button or two, or my freaking stick drift was ridiculous. Right, so I'm dealing with that. So I got stick drift problems. My L1 button I soldered back is working. I've got this button, this back paddle is no longer working now. That's okay. That lasted for about, I'd say about a month. That all happened. Then all of a sudden, I go to turn my PlayStation on and I power it on. I go to press X to start playing. My X button's not working. I'm like, wait, what? What do you mean? My X button, my actual X button is no longer working. So that was it. That was the end of the run on this controller. So that's my review. That is the end of the run with this. I'm just giving you that's my review. After the X button worked, I no longer could use this. I've reached out to SCUF. I reached out to them about a week and a half ago. To this day, I still haven't received an email. I'm still waiting to see what's going on. I'm trying to send this thing back before my warranty is up. It seems like they're pretty smart with their warranties because they only give you about, I think, a little over 3 months. So they're really smart because these controllers start to shit out hardcore right about 3 months. So I got to say right now, if you're looking to buy one of these, please do not buy one. Save yourself a huge headache. Do not buy one of these SCUF controllers. If I was you guys, look into Battle Beavers. I know they're about 3 months out. Look into Evil Controllers. Look into all these other controller companies. If you haven't gotten used to the SCUF and these paddles, which is the huge selling point for this controller, and I personally don't want to leave it, but honestly, dealing with this controller was the biggest headache in my life, and I've had to constantly aid it and try to bandage it up, and it's just still, it's a big pile of shit. And the reason I say that's a pile of shit is because not only am I the only one that got this controller, I have 2 other friends who bought this. One bought the Infinity, or they bought this exact controller, and someone else bought the Impact. The one that bought this controller, the Infinity, his actual trigger button, it collapsed and it snapped in and it no longer works anymore. So he had his for about, I'd say about a little over a month, and his trigger, he went to go pull the trigger down and the whole thing just went all the way down, and now it doesn't work anymore. Now his trigger's broken. So he's trying to send his into SCUF as well. His is done. Okay, so that happened about a month and a half after he got his. Because after I got mine, I ranted and raved to everybody. I promise you. I told everybody, get a SCUF. SCUF's the greatest. Blah, blah, blah. And then after about a month of really going through what's going on with this, I instantly regretted saying that. So long story short, one of my other buddies, my cousin actually, he bought the Impact because he wanted the 4 paddles. He bought the Impact. The second he got it out of the box, his stick drift was insane. He's like, bro, I don't know what's going on, but I got this thing. I literally, the stick drift is it's unbelievable. It's insane. He had to throw his dead zone up to 30. No joke. 0.30, sorry, not 30. He had to throw it all the way up to 3.30. So it's not just me that's having problems with this. Look on YouTube. Look at reviews. Check it out. This is a huge problem right now. SCUF's blowing it. I don't know what's going on. This thing has potential to be such a great controller. They're just really, really blowing it right now. It's tough, because it really has a great design, it has a great feel, and it has potential to be one of the best controllers out there, bar none. But the quality control on this thing is just dog shit. People are not paying attention to this. They're not. I don't know what it takes to get these things out of the frickin' factory. But yeah, highly recommend you do not buy one of these controllers. Look somewhere else. I know it's going to be a process. It's going to take you a little bit longer to get. These things are still about a month and a half out. Even if you are trying to buy one of these SCUFs, they are still about a month and a half out right now. So I highly recommend, if you guys are going to get a custom controller, an Elite controller, look somewhere else besides SCUF. It's going to be a huge nightmare for you, I promise you. Look at the reviews online. I'm not the only one that's saying this. The new SCUFs they're dog shit. They're dog shit, and I'm really mad that I bought this controller, and I really hope that SCUF reaches out to me in the time frame I have for my warranty so I can send this piece of shit back and have them try to fix it. I really wish I could just tell them, hey, can you just replace the whole controller, because honestly, like, there's so much stuff to fix. If you send it back and I have a problem and get like a week down the road and have to send it back to you, like, I really want to just say, give me a whole nother controller for free, and then we're good. But long story short, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it's helpful for you guys. I really hope you guys listen to this, because it's real. This is real. I'm not the only one. I've got two other friends that have had this exact experience with SCUF. So save you guys yourself a problem. Stay away from SCUF. Look anywhere else. Look at Nancon. Look at Evil Controllers. Look at Battle Beaver. I'm thinking Battle Beaver is going to be your #1 option. Battle Beavers is a really cool controller too as well, because it looks like you can actually send them in your DS4 shell, and you can mark where you want your actual. You can put your controller in your hand, and you can mark where you want your extra buttons to be by just using a marker and dabbing on wherever you want your buttons to be. So look into Battle Beaver. Look into any other controller company before you try to settle on SCUF. I'm just telling you right now, with my experience, I would never, ever want to do this again. Never want to do this again. I just really hope, like I said, that SCUF can come through and get me my other controller, or get me this controller fixed, and we'll be a hunky-dory and be okay with it. But other than that, you guys, I really hope you guys listen. I hope you guys hear me out when I'm telling you about this controller. Like I said, I ranted and raved about this controller. It was a nightmare. It's been nothing but a nightmare, and we're at we're about 2.5 months in deep right now with the controller. So I'm in the process of sending it back. I still haven't gotten any feedback from. Like I said, it's been a week and a half since I've heard back. I haven't heard anything from SCUF yet. I understand COVID's slowing stuff down, but highly recommend you guys look elsewhere. I hope this review was helpful for you guys. If you guys like what you guys see, you guys enjoy the content, appreciate it. If you guys want to drop a like or a sub or comment in the comment below, let me know if you guys got SCUFs, and let me know if you guys have any experiences like this, okay, in the comments below. Appreciate you guys very much. Make sure you guys check out the Twitch. We're live daily, usually in the morning from like 8 in the morning till, we go till whatever, man, whatever the chat's doing. If we want to roll out and do a whole night, we'll run a whole night. But yeah, the stream's dball1. Appreciate you guys very much. I hope you guys have a great rest of you guys' day, and I hope this was very helpful for you guys, and I hope you guys learned something. And yeah, man, thank you guys for everything. I'll catch you guys on stream live. Peace.